Today we're going to talk about 3 super easy ways to start living a more natural lifestyle. That means removing some of the toxins in your household, embracing, more natural philosophy. These 3 options works for everyone, and they give you maximum results with minimum effort. And that is the key here. A lot of my friends will ask me, I don't want to change my diet, I want to eat how I want to eat. They have a certain lifestyle and they want to keep it, but they want to try to reduce some of the toxic load going into their bodies and in their home, but they don't want to put a lot of effort into it. That's the millennial crisis, really. So that's what these items are. The first category is fragrances. Fragrances I'm talking about is fragrances that are hidden in so many of your household products that you might not even realize it. And if we can just eliminate some of those, that will really, really reduce the amounts of chemicals going into your body and into your family's body. Now, you might be thinking, why is fragrances a big deal? Some of them can be as harmful as causing cancer, disrupting your reproductive organs, to just irritating your skin and causing eczema or breakouts, things like that. So there is a wide range of issues that can erupt from fragrances. And particularly, you'll see on labels it says parfum, P-A-R-F-U-M, parfum. And this can disrupt you in a lot of different ways. It can be as simple as causing some irritation to your skin, especially those who have more sensitive types of skins, to causing reproductive related issues, and to not get too overwhelmed, right? There are some things that we cannot avoid, but these ones that I'm going to talk about today, we can avoid, and it's really easy to just make that switch, make that change. First one I wanted to talk to you about might seem silly, but is toilet paper. There is so much toilet paper and sanitary-like products, so women's pads and tampons and things like that, that are scented now. And a lot of times it's in tiny print on the packaging. And so you might be picking up toilet paper that you had no idea has chemicals that you're wiping on your private parts, and an area that is a reproductive area. So right there is the biggest one, is just to replace the fragrance toilet paper with unscented toilet paper. Washing your clothes. It's such an easy fix to just switch to a more eco-friendly brand that is unscented. Some of them will say like scented with essential oils. I say just get the fragrance free, and you can put your own essential oils into the washing machine, and that way you know how much scent is actually going in. Because some of us have sensitive skin where even essential oils can kind of irritate it. So you want to reduce that irritation as much as possible, control it, and I think the best way is to remove any scent from your clothing. And you can do that through, these ones are great. They're just the sheets, but I also sometimes do use the liquid as well. And this is the one I'm using right now that's unscented as well. Along with soaps and things like that, another really easy fix is getting unscented dish soap. So what you're washing your dishes with and stuff, having something that's scented will sometimes stick to it. You probably noticed it sometimes, where you put a pan in the oven and you can kind of smell a little bit of that fragrance of the soap. You don't want that leaking into your food. It is such a huge disruptor. So instead, switching to something that just doesn't have fragrance in it. There are better ones out there than say this. This is just by Sainsbury, and it's 80p a bottle, so it's really cheap. The other ones that are out there can be like double, triple the cost. And right now, I just can't afford that. But what I can do is remove, again, the fragrance from my dish soap so that at least fragrance isn't going into our food and things like that. Another really easy fix, and I won't get too much into household cleaning supplies because it's such a rabbit hole, and a lot of people are very hooked on certain cleaning products. But if I could just change just one from your household, it would be your everyday all-purpose cleaner. That's the thing that you're gonna probably spray on your counters and your, the doors or windowsills. Things that when you spray, it goes very much into the air, falls on the floor. It really gets into your house. That one I would replace with a homemade, super easy solution, which involves vinegar. 1 part vinegar, 1 part water, and you have yourself a super cleaning power. Vinegar is so good at killing bacteria, fungus, all of that kind of stuff. It breaks it down. You might think, I need the super antibacterial. You don't. That disrupts your system so much more than something that can gently clean your home, keep loved ones as safe as possible. That's more important. So what I do is you can just get a simple spray bottle. I'm looking into getting one that's made out of glass, but everything's a process, right? You have to slowly change things throughout your home. It doesn't happen overnight. So that's why I wanted to say, like, this is a plastic one. I don't love that. I'm going to switch it eventually to a glass one. But 1 part, like I said, 1 part vinegar, 1 part water. And then what I do is I'll add some essential oils. Now this one is by Now Essentials. This one's orange. I really like the orange. And then I like the lavender. I like Now Essential Oil, especially for using it as cleaning scent or putting it in my washing machine. It's a reasonable price for the quality of oil. Scented products for your home. We're talking candles. We're talking those diffusers that you insert into your plugins. We're talking those beautiful glass jars that have those wooden spikes coming out of it that have oils in them. It's gonna have really, really toxic chemicals in it that is gonna disrupt your system. So an easy fix, again, is just to remove those fragrances from your home. You want a nice smelling home, I get it. So a great alternative is using essential oils. Start thinking about ways that you can remove fragrances from your home. Okay, next on the list is cookware. Now, there is a very wide range of different types of cookware you can start thinking about and introducing into your home. I would say, this is just my feeling, but stay away from anything that advertises itself as being non-stick, non-toxic, etc. That is not necessarily going to be everything out there. In general, a lot of the times in the fine print, these eco-type pans will have a certain expiration to them. A very famous one is I think, what's it called? The everyday pan, or I forget what it's called, but I'll put it here. That one has an expiration date. I think it's like 5 or 7 years, and then you have to toss it and get a new one. Or a lot of the eco-type pans that are non-stick and say that they are non-toxic as well, if you scratch them, which you will, they become toxic. So this is not all pans out there. I'm just saying majority, and just for if you're somebody that doesn't have time to do a ton of research on every single brand out there, and there's so many, then I would say just stay away from them. Just stay away from them and keep to your earthware. I say earthware, I'm talking about cast iron. I predominantly only cook with cast iron and stainless steel. Stainless steel is a great option. You can have so many different, you can get really cheap sets and stuff. This one's from IKEA. This is probably as cheap as it gets. Any stainless steel pan will do. And some of my other stainless steel items would be, like my mixing bowls are all stainless steel. These are actually IKEA as well. Very cheap, very great usable, and my kid loves playing with them as well. So I have stainless steel bowls. And then colanders. A lot of people use plastic ones, so a wide range of cast iron out there. Why use cast iron? It does put a little bit of iron into your food, which most of us are a bit iron deficient, especially women and kids. So just that alone, cooking with cast iron can really be beneficial. Also, you don't have to worry about toxins leaking into your food, ever. The other best thing about cast iron is it lasts forever. Forever! You can rejuvenate cast iron if they get rusty and things like that. So it's something that you don't ever have to worry about replacing. That means a lot of the times it is a bit of an investment. It's not going to be as cheap as your stainless steels or things like that. These are the brands that I've chosen. I have 2 brands. I've used them all. Well, majority of the really well-known cast irons, and these are my favorite. Would be Lodge. Now, Lodge is a great brand. They're durable. They're the type of cast iron that you could bring camping, you know, and it's a little bit more rugged. My favorite brand, which is Staub. I love Staub. I've used a lot of other French brands, but this one I think is the winner. Staub, first of all, they're beautiful. They really last, and they have a better non-stick. I find this pan, this is my everyday, always pan, and things rarely stick to it, and when they do, it's really easy to clean. They're quite heavy, but and I love the wooden handle. The wooden handle, if you've ever cooked with cast iron, you know that like the handles get really hot, and so you need some kind of like rubber, some kind of like mitt to go on it. And so I chose this pan in particular because I wouldn't need a mitt. So, and I mostly cook on the stovetop with stuff like this, like eggs and things like that. I love this pan. This was the best investment I've ever made. I'm gonna link this one and the pot below so you can check them out and see if it's something that you wanna invest in as well. I cannot recommend this pan and the pot enough. It is worth it. This is my favorite thing in the house. It's my favorite thing. It makes cooking beautiful. I love it. One way I take care of my cast irons is coconut oil. I use coconut oil to season my pans. The next thing is tools and things like that. Again, you're sticking to your more natural routes, things that aren't going to leach into your food, so staying away from plastics. But in general, I only cook with wooden utensils. That's all I cook with, and then I have some stainless steel. This is a masher, and then a whisk and stuff. So really cheap, and you can feel safe using them. And I'm telling you, using a wooden spatula to flip eggs is no bother. This was my husband's chopping board when we first dated, and I rarely ever used it, but he's always had a wooden chopping board as well. This one's a bamboo one. I got it in Canada. I really recommend using a wooden cutting board because the plastic stuff, every time you're cutting, little bits of plastic are going into your food. And although, sorry, the sun is like in my eye, I'll just squat here. Every time you're chopping, little bits of plastic is going into your food. So we want to try and avoid that as much as possible in our kids, in ourselves, etc. So I really, really recommend switching to a wooden board. They're not expensive. Storage. Another really important part about household. These are from IKEA. I don't love them. I'm gonna be honest. I recommend storing your food in glass. What's great about these is you can also cook with them. A lot of the times I'll cook with them and then I'll just pop the lid on afterwards, and it makes cleaning up a lot easier and faster. Downside, I would say, to these IKEA ones is they're not super durable. A bunch of them have chipped and cracked, and that just makes me angry. And yes, I'm not the most gentle, and it's glass, but I feel like it should be much more durable than it is. I've had them for, I guess, about 2 years, and I feel like they should last forever. The other really cheap option that I do for food storage is, this is an old pickle jar. I save all the jars, which drives my husband nuts, and there's a certain jam that my husband likes, so I keep those lids, and I don't know, I think that looks really cute. It looks really cute, and it's basically free. You know, I'll put soups and stews, and also I store all my flours, pastas, and things like that, nuts and things. Anything pantry related, I usually store in a glass jar. Those are some of my tips for cookware that are really, really easy to swap out the plastic or toxic kind of materials. So I hope that really inspires you. You don't have to do all these things, but maybe some of these might inspire you and be easy enough to start implementing. And I'm telling you, it's a domino effect from there. Okay, last but not least, I wanted to talk to you about water. Now, I don't want to offend anyone, but in most countries that I've been in, your water is not as safe as you think to drink. It's safe in that it won't make you throw up immediately or have really bad diarrhea and things, but it is filled with toxins. The issue with the water coming out of our taps, and I'll specifically talk about here in the UK, but it's also the case for North America, is it has a lot of other things in it. Things we wouldn't think of. We know that there's fluoride and chlorine in them, which isn't great for our microbiome by any means. Also prescription drugs. They found many prescription drugs in our tap water, particularly antidepressants and birth control pill. But it also has plastics in it, plenty of different types of plastics, and particularly PFOs. Now, if you know anything about PFOs, you know that they're not good. They're not good. They are a type of plastic that lasts forever. We all have them in our bodies, and that can be really scary and overwhelming. All I'm saying is we want to eliminate the amount that's going into our bodies. And why is this important? Why is it important if, you know, we're already gonna get it from other sources and stuff? The body can handle and adapt to a certain amount of toxic load. We can live a fulfilling, long life and still have toxins in us. So it's not about eliminating all the toxins possible and all the toxins from our bodies. We can handle some of it, and our body can expel some of it on its own. I feel probably the most important thing in my home is clean, trusted water. If you're given the proper water, it will help clear toxins from your body. The best type of water filter, and I think the only type of water filter that is worth investing in, is one that will get rid of majority of the PFAs from your water. And that is reverse osmosis water filter. The one that I have chosen is called AquaTrue. It is pricey. It comes with a price tag, and you might look at that price tag and say, no way, no way. But once you have the machine, it really does last. I was always put off by the price. And what got me in the end was doing more research and doing my own research. You can listen to as many people as you want, but until you read what is actually in your tap water, and when you test your own tap water, which I did, there was a little bit of lead. a little bit of mercury, a little bit of like heavy metals. There was plenty of stuff that I did not want going into my daughter, and I didn't want it in me either. So, or my husband, bless him. But not everybody can afford this, and that's the frustrating part. Okay, so those are 3 things that I have adapted in my home. I think they are probably, like I said, the easiest that you can implement, start thinking about, or just thinking about. I know the last one does come with a price tag. It is the easiest probably. You just buy it and then you have clean water, right? But it's not easy for everyone to afford a really high-end reverse osmosis water filter. Okay, a real quick recap on everything I said. I wanted to give you 3 easy ways to remove some of the toxins from your home and towards a more natural living lifestyle. I wanted it to be items that would give you the maximum results with minimal effort, because I know a lot of us live really, really busy lives. So for me, number 1 was fragrances. Just by removing fragrances, you're minimizing so many health risks. We talked about everything from skin sensitivity to reproductive related damage, cancers. Removing fragrances from your dish soap, detergent, not using things like candles and Febreze or those inserts that spew chemicals into your home, replacing that with a diffuser that has essential oils in it, things like that. We talked about even toilet paper, how a lot of toilet paper has scents in them. So that was kind of our fragrance area. Next was our cookware. Cookware is such a simple way to start removing toxins from your home. Not using things that are plastic that can break up over time and degrade into your food, and more natural based materials that won't ever leak toxins into your food. So that would be for me, cast iron pans and pots, as well as stainless steel. And for cooking utensils, using bamboo as well as stainless steel. And then chopping boards, replacing the plastic ones, because little bits of plastic goes into your food, with a wooden cutting board. They can be cheap, they can be expensive. Getting familiar with the brands is really useful. Last but not least was probably the simplest one, which is just getting a really good water filter. And the only one on the market that I'm aware of at this time is a reverse osmosis water filter that gets pretty much everything out. The one that I have gets 99% of all chemicals out. So that's pretty good to me. That's pretty good to me. PFAs, PFOs, everlasting plastics, I don't want them in my water, as well as chlorine, fluoride, heavy metals like lead and mercury. I don't want them in my water. So a bit of a price tag up front to get a really good machine that you can trust, that is scientifically proven, and it should say on their website, and it should have all the research on there before you invest into any kind of machine. I think just getting a really good water filter is so beneficial. So those are my top 3. Those are my top 3. Let me know what you think. Might not be for everyone. That's okay. There are so many options to adapting a more natural living lifestyle. So many options. These are just 3. Write in the description below one thing that you're doing to move towards a more natural living life. I'll be really interested to hear. Anyways, so that's it for me today.